with ideas. Just, two middle-aged guys bored at work, basically. And he says to me, we should do this pooper scooper business. I had this great idea. I hate picking up after my dog. You hate picking up after your dog. I bet people will pay us. And I thought he was crazy. And he says, let's do an ad on Craigslist. He's a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
And I remember telling him, Craigslist. Nobody goes on Craigslist. Look, people don't use Craigslist for services. You might try and buy a mattress or something. But he spends $5 on the Craigslist ad, and maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes after it goes live, we get our first call and our first customer. And that's when I realized he might be onto something. And we still have that first customer to this day, which is crazy.
That was Mark Regan, co-founder of Poop Away, the one pet waste removal service in the Boston area. Keep listening if you want to know how to turn an everyday problem to a smart and disruptive business. So welcome to another episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast with your host, Lopez Solike. And share this episode and let's get started.
Sit back and relax and get ready for another exclusive episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast with Lopez.
This episode is sponsored by FindFlightsAndHotels.com. Looking for the perfect summer vacation destination for you and your family? FindFlightsAndHotels.com has got you covered. From tropical beaches to cultural adventures, our brand new travel website is your one-stop shop for booking the unforgettable family vacation you've been dreaming of. Discover amazing deals, top-rated accommodations, and unbeatable flight options all in one place. Say goodbye to stress and hello to endless fun in the sun. Don't miss out on creating cherished memories with your loved ones this summer. Visit FindFlightsAndHotels.com now and start planning the getaway of a lifetime.
So, where you from?
Hey, so my name's Mark. I'm from just south of Boston, and I own Poop Away.
Cool, yeah. So, hey, when I first saw the website of your business, I'm like, this is very unique. And I'm like, oh, because the couple probably like during Christmas, I was talking to my wife, and she was saying that she asked me if I wanted a dog. I said, no, I'm not. I don't have time for all that because you gotta walk the dog, and the dog gotta poop, and I'm saying I'm not doing that.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I said, hey, babies only. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So she's like, oh, well, I guess you won't be getting a dog, right? So at around the same time, I saw your website, and I was like, that's a home run right there. So what made you want to start a business like that?
And the funny thing is, I have a partner, and it was his idea originally. And I thought he was crazy at first. I mean, this is like 2018. We used to work together, and we have a lot of downtime, so we'd spend time just, coming up with ideas. Just, two middle-aged guys bored at work, basically. And he says to me, we should do this pooper scooper business. I had this great idea. I hate picking up after my dog. You hate picking up after your dog. I bet people will pay us. And I thought he was crazy. And he says, let's do an ad on Craigslist. He's a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
And I remember telling him, Craigslist. Nobody goes on Craigslist. Look, people don't use Craigslist for services. You might try and buy a mattress or something. But he spends $5 on the Craigslist ad, and maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes after it goes live, we get our first call and our first customer. And that's when I realized he might be onto something. And we still have that first customer to this day, which is crazy. And it was a guy he's a chef. His wife, I forget what some corporate job. They just had twins. They had dogs. They couldn't take care of the babies and the dogs. And the poop was piling up in the yard, and they were desperate for help. And I don't know how he found us on Craigslist, but he was happy, and that's how we got started. It's to me, it's still crazy. We got started with a Craigslist ad.
Yeah. People still utilize Craigslist.
They do.
Yeah, they still do, man. So one client, one customer. It started with one and just snowball from there, or what?
Yeah, pretty much. We started. So we got that one customer that we tried spending more money on Craigslist, and we never got another customer again from there. But we started posting just everywhere, Facebook and Instagram, and we go into, those town pages, like I have one in my town. I love Lakeville, and we would just spam those pages until they kicked us out, basically. And people would send us messages. Can you come on Wednesday? Can you come once a week? And that's how we got probably our first maybe 50 customers was that way. Just free marketing. The original viral marketing. You just spam the heck out of these pages.
The local papers or local pages?
The local pages, yeah. And it worked. We used to do try and advertise on Nextdoor too. It's kind of the same way. But that's super local. But it was a good way to get customers for free. We still do it. We still post on Facebook. Now we get most of our customers through Google Ads. But when you have no money and you just need to get some customers, it's a really great way just to get your first few. And I'd say we probably got our first 40 or 50 customers that way.
So it was just you and him in the beginning, right? Oh, y'all hired people?
It took us too long to hire people. We got to a point, probably at the beginning of COVID, because we really blew up then, where I was working full time and doing scooping probably 30 hours a week. Dean was working full time, scooping the other 30, 40 hours a week. And that's when we finally, bit the bullet and started hiring people. And that opens doors. Once you have employees, you don't have to think so much. You can just say yes to everyone that comes along because you have the help.
Yeah.
They're getting paid and they want to work.
Yeah. So, okay, you working full time. So when did you make the decision that, hey, I'm gonna quit this job?
It was tough because I worked as a paramedic and I really loved the job.
Oh.
I still do it one day a week now, just because I like it. Dean still works in sales and he still does it 3 days a week. So, we both could quit, but it's hard. It's hard when you like what you do originally.
Yeah.
But Dean's wife is smart because he started making, money. He basically had two incomes. And she was like, well, if you're not going to quit, I'm going to quit. So
how many people y'all have on staff now?
We have 11, which is wild. And we're actually hiring, we need to hire like 2 or 3 more people. So we'll have interviews tomorrow. Or Monday.
So this is mostly in the Boston area?
We started in the Boston metro area, but now we cover the whole eastern half of the state, right up to Cape Cod, like the little arm. Mm-hmm. And then we cover all of Rhode Island now too. So we've really, the area we cover is huge. And hopefully we're starting a franchise, so I hope we can, I'd love to have a Poop Away franchise in every metro area in the country someday.
Yeah, because it's these types of businesses is pretty straightforward. It's like, hey, you don't want to, you don't want to clean up the poop, so hey, have us come over and do it.
That's the best part. Because probably like a lot of your listeners, I tried so many other businesses, drop shipping and my own products, and I even tried writing a course. That was a nightmare. There's so many steps. Like you hit the nail on the head. It's so easy. What do? We pick up dog poop. My cats are going nuts in the background. It's easy to explain. It's easy to to train people how to do it.
Yeah.
There's low overhead. It's the perfect business.
Yeah. Is it easy to hire people? Is it easy to find people to hire?
What's funny is it's not hard to find people. It's hard to find good people, because a lot of people will do the job. It's not as gross as it sounds at first, but we get really nervous about, because we're going into people's yards, and sometimes they'll go through someone's garage. And so we try to be really careful about, just making sure we hire people who are really respectful of other people's spaces. And that's hard. That's the hard part. And then people who are good at customer service, because a lot of people, they'll seem like they're great employees at first, and they do great in the interview, and then they get in someone's house and, something goes wrong. Someone lets the dog out, or the gate's locked, and they, are screaming and swearing and banging on the door, and like, didn't expect that.
Yeah, when you go to people's house, it takes a different skill set. It
does,
and a lot of people get nervous.
Yeah,
in a situation like that too. So I think a lot of times you just that's something you have to get used to. I think I don't think people I think there's a certain level of training, of course, but just the people interaction with somebody you never met before, I don't think you can really train that. That's something you have to experience.
I think you're right. You have to have some life experience. That's what we've found, is that at first we thought it would be young people who would be good at the job, but it really isn't. It's, people who have, people who are in their 30s and 40s who seem to do the best because they've lived a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we get some, it's always surprised me, but we have some athletes and some celebrities and things. And the young people get all crazy about it. Oh my God, there's, so-and-so's house. Can I ask him for an autograph? And, you gotta, you get someone who's my age, and they, oh, cool, that's just another person,
Yeah, exactly.
This is still this person's house.
They're starstruck.
They're starstruck. And, I get it. I do get it. A friend of mine's an electrician. He did electrical work for Steve Carell in Marshfield, and he's in his late 30s. He had the same experience of getting starstruck too, but he still did the job. Where like sometimes younger people will kind of get caught up in,
they'll flip out.
They'll flip out trying to take pictures. And
yeah, So y'all can do y'all service residential, which would be like houses, and like apartments, and y'all do like corporate too.
Yeah, we do like a lot of houses, but a lot of big apartment complexes, condo complexes, and dog parks is a big part of the business too. We try to reach out to the dog parks because a lot of them are nonprofits, and we like to do that service, at cost, or as cheap as possible. A lot of them they have volunteers, and it tends to be older people. They do the best they can, but it's hard to walk a 2-acre dog park and make sure all the dog waste is picked up, or a trash bag full of the poop bags can be pretty heavy. So we like to try and go out of our way to make it as affordable as possible for the dog parks, especially the nonprofit ones. The ones that are just free to the community.
Yeah, like if, let's say you get a call from somebody's house, and I guess on average, how long would it take for you to clean up everything?
It's honestly not that long, 10-15 minutes for the most part. It's so funny that this part of the country is, some yards are tiny and we're there for 5 minutes, and then you'll go 10 minutes away and it'll be the country, and people will have 2 acres and you're there for an hour. But on average, it's about 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. And when do you take all the poop? I'm just curious.
Oh, that's everybody asks that question. We just have
yeah.
a huge dumpster at our office.
Okay.
And, we try and double bag it because it's, in the summer, a dumpster full of dog poop, it's not a pretty place to be.
Yeah. So is this I guess, so this is pretty, if I had to guess, pretty low overhead type business. It's not, it's not a lot of high, it's not really high overhead monthly.
No, there really isn't. Now that we're, as we've grown, that's the thing about a service business, right? The downside is as you grow, the overhead grows with you. But you can start with, what do you need? A bucket, some trash bags, a scoop, a rake. That's pretty much it. You can run it out of your garage, or if you live in an apartment building, you can even run it out of your apartment, because it's not like you have to bring the poop back home. You just, as long as you can find somewhere to dump it.
Yeah.
Well, when we started, we didn't even have the dumpsters, so we found a dog park really early on that was, they were just opening. We said, we'll service it basically for nothing if we can use your dumpster. So we get to the end of the day, and you have me and Dean, then later on all of our techs coming there and filling up their dumpster. But it was great for them because they didn't have to pay anything to have us come, service them.
Yeah, because I met a guy that he supplies like construction companies, the Porta-Johns.
Oh yeah, that's another great business, I bet.
Yeah, and I asked him, I said, hey, what do you do? How do you dump everything out of there? Where do you take it at? He said, I got it's like a big, it's like a kind of a big waste machine on his site.
Wow.
He vacuum everything out of the Porta-John. It sucks everything out into the, I guess it's like a, I would say like a steel, it's really hard to describe, man. But
yeah,
basically, it sucks everything out of the Porta-John, and then it kind of it burns everything in there, all the waste, and it evaporates at a certain point. Yeah. I said, oh, okay. Because I said I always wonder about that. What do you do? Do y'all got to deal with the city or something like that?
Yeah, I always wondered that too. Like, do they have to bring it to like a treatment plant? I always wondered that myself. So that is cool.
Yeah, I asked him that. He said no. He said no. Don't. He said that if they did have to do a deal with the city, that'd be way too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he said that's probably the thing that he spent the most money on, that machine.
I bet that's going to be expensive.
Yeah. I think he said it was like $200,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's more than my house.
Yeah. He said that was like the biggest the biggest expense they had so far. But he said it was worth it because once they were done with that, they just could just focus on the service and getting, asking people if they want a Porta-John and deliver it and all that stuff.
I asked, because I always thought that was a cool business. I went to a big outdoor concert once, and there was, the Porta-Johns just lined up there everywhere, and people were constantly going in. And there was a big truck, and the guy, it was just a hose, and every couple hours the guy could empty them on the spot, and it was getting sucked into the truck.
Yeah. And
I tried to ask the guy, like, when this thing fills, what do you do with it? But he just worked there, so he didn't know. He just goes, I just bring it back, and someone else takes over. So I was always curious. But he was telling me that they were charging the venue every time they emptied one of those. That was another charge.
Yeah.
And it had to be like 50 of them or so. I was like,
Yeah.
they got to be making $1 million just at this one,
Yeah.
this one concert for one guy to sit here with a truck. Obviously they got to have a tour place, but what?
That's a good
What a
business.
business. That's a good business.
Yeah. So when your partner came to you, in the beginning and said, "Hey man, let's start this business," what made you say, "Hey, you know what?" I mean, you said you thought he was crazy in the beginning, but at some point you was like, "You know what, man, we can do this." At what point you said, "Man, we can do this, man. We can knock this out the park."
Once we got that first customer, I knew that he had a good idea. And when we started, we would go to every stop together. It was to learn, and we'd also talk about what we were going to do, how we're going to build the business. And then we would talk to the customers as much as we can. Why did you sign up for this? What can we do better? What do you like about the service? What do you not like? And we started seeing that most of our customers were just regular people who were just swamped. And life is busy. If you're working full time, you're raising kids, and so many of these people, like you were saying earlier about the dog, and your wife, it's like they get a dog and their teenagers say they'll take care of it, and then 3 months goes by and they don't want to do it anymore, and the poop is ankle deep in the backyard.
Yeah.
And they said there's dog walkers, there's dog groomers, there's vets, everything can be taken care of except for who's picking up the yard. So it was just a little niche we didn't even know existed. And sometimes we'll get people who are like elderly and they just can't do it anymore. And I like to tell the employees about those customers, just because it's not a glamorous job. I used to be a firefighter, that's a glamorous job. People do that for free because you feel so good about yourself. But you don't get that same feeling from picking up poop. But when you know that if you didn't do it for this elderly person, they were going to lose their dog. It might be their only friend in the world right now, This is the thing keeping them alive, getting them out, getting them walking. So that's a big deal. And I think when we really learned who our customer was, and as goofy as it is, how valuable some people find the service, that's when we went from it kind of being a side hustle to we turned it into a big business.
Yeah, man, that's fantastic, man. So when did y'all say, "Hey, man, we're gonna franchise this thing"? How did that come about?
So when we started, we had always talked about we wanted a business that was low overhead, easy to start, and that we could grow, and we wanted something we could franchise. So when this started, we always had franchising in the back of our head. And I have been reaching out to franchise consultants probably for 3 or 4 years before we actually pulled the trigger, because I wanted to do it right away. Because I know, we keep expanding, but to me, that's just so much more work. I don't want another office in Connecticut, or this is good enough for me. Let's sell it to someone, and let them run it and hire their own employees. We happened to I called this guy, Jack McGrow. He's in Hingham, which is a town just a few over from me and Dean. And he turned out to just be he's a huge company. We had no clue. They franchised Planet Fitness. They do Chick-fil-A, huge corporations. And he thought our business was funny. So he was like, "You know what? I'll work with you guys." And he gave us a really good deal. I mean, it was $30,000, so it wasn't a great deal, but it was a lot less than he would charge Planet Fitness, And it took 2 years. But he worked with us and explained every step of the way, how to sell it, how to build it, helped us, get all paperwork squared away, let us basically talk his lawyer's ear off, so that we didn't have to hire a separate lawyer. So it was kind of, we planned ahead, but we also got really lucky. But it was a process. He told us it would take like 3 to 4 months when we started, and then 2 years later, when we're finally wrapping up, we were all like, "Well, that took a lot longer than we expected."
What was it? Was it the process, or what? Why did it take so long, you think?
It was, part of it's the process, and it was just educating us. Like, it took us, there's so many like legal nuances, and me and Dean we're not we're just regular dudes. I mean, our sales job before this was selling furniture. I can tell you everything you want to know about a couch, but I don't know anything about law.
Yeah, I would think it'd be a lot of legal stuff. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, especially when you go across, especially when it comes to crossing state lines.
That's exactly it. And we didn't realize every state has its own crazy, laws and things that'll trip you up if you're not from there. And some of it was just getting our own house in order. As you start to grow, you kind of slap your business together. And we just kept running into things where that lawyer would be like, "Well, I'm glad that's working for you, but that's illegal and you can't do that anymore." Or,
I think most people, when they get started, they don't have everything together. No, it doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
No, it doesn't happen like that. What usually happens is they might have some things together, but especially if it takes off fast, and there's a whole 2-3 steps in between. You're like, "Oh, wait a minute."
I skipped all that.
Yeah. And we got to pay taxes. Oh man, I didn't have time to do all that.
Yeah. It's just, all of a sudden you realize, oh crap, I missed all that.
Yeah, that happens, man. That happens.
We have a friendly competitor I think they're in Washington State or whatever, but they did, they had a booming business, but they had actually named themselves Poop Away. They took our name, which we trademarked, and they basically ran into the same thing. As they grew, they realized, crap, we're using a trademarked name. How do we fix this? And they're great. They're two great guys. We just basically said, "Can you change it in the next year?" But they were in the same position. They started little and they got big really fast, and then you start realizing all the mistakes you made. Like you said, you go from 1 to 5 and you skip 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. So if you could have done anything different, what would it be?
I think we could have grown faster. We have been. Last year was the first time we really took advantage of the business. Really, like, customer acquisition is really seasonal. Most of our customers come right now, like January, February, March, April, and then it kind of dies. And so whatever you get during that time, those are the people you have for the year. And we were always nervous about investing in advertising because it's complicated. We had to hire somebody. I don't know anything about Google Ads. I tried to learn. We know the basics, but
it's hard. I use it.
Yeah, it's really hard.
It took me 10 years to really get it down.
Yeah, it's a whole area of expertise, like, in and of itself. And so we were just so nervous. But if we had been less nervous, I think 3 or 4 years ago, we had really spent money on advertising and just aimed it at those 3 or 4 months, I think we could probably be double our size. So I would change that maybe, but it's not that big of a deal. We learned along the way.
Yeah, I think I always tell service-based businesses if you can, some of these towns don't have local magazines. You're better off being in a local magazine.
Yeah.
because if you're in a local magazine, you'll be famous.
Yeah, that's right. That is good advice. And with service businesses, it's not like you're not selling a product that you can ship all over the country. You just need to be known in your service area, and that's it.
Yep. Now, if you want to like when it comes to like franchising, maybe some people want to expand across the country. And that's when you go to move up to the big magazines.
Yeah, exactly. But
when it comes to the Google ads, it's great, but it's not easy.
It's not easy.
Easy, man. It took me 5 years to really kind of be like, okay, I get it now. By the time I hit 10 years, I was like, oh, I really got it. It takes time, man. Plus it changes every year,
which is even crazier.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Dean, we took how like the Small Business Administration, they do those classes. I don't know if you've ever taken any of them.
Yeah.
Really great. We took a class, just basically like an intro to using Google ads. It was actually Google and Facebook ads.
Okay.
And we got to the end of the class, and the person teaching the class was like, just so you know, there's a big update coming in about 2 weeks. A bunch of this is going to change. And we were like,
oh, God. Thanks for telling us.
Thanks for the heads up. And they walked us through like how to read the, they put the information out. Sort of. Sometimes they'll tell you what's changed. Sometimes they don't tell you anything. You just log in and your dashboard's different.
Yeah.
But that's when we were like, this is too much.
Yeah.
So I can do little things like, I know how to like track our conversions and stuff.
Yeah.
But, figuring out keywords and negative keywords and.
It's a lot. Yeah.
It's a lot.
See, I came from the offline advertising world. And then I went on, and then I came online. And that's when I was like, man, this online thing is hard. Offline is simple. And the thing about being offline, you don't even have to be fancy. All you have to do is focus on your words. And you don't really need no graphics. I mean, if you want to, but if you, let's say you take out a full page ad, I mean, you just get dressed in a nice suit or your best outfit you might have, or a nice headline and an article. And at the end of the article, you tell people where to go to, or rather pick up the phone or go to your website or probably both. That's really it. But online, oh my God, it's the algorithm, it's the clicks, there's so much stuff you have to think about.
So much. There is so much. Dean, my partner, he is much more familiar with the kind of offline advertising too. He's I think he's in his early 60s now, but he used to own a furniture store in the 90s, and it was all newspaper ads and local TV commercials, and he did a really great job. And when we started advertising online, it was such a shift in thinking for him, because the way he was thinking of it is you'd get a Google ad. It's like, it's like a magazine, and people click these particular websites and your ad shows up. It took so much. I used to joke that I was going to beat him over the head with this. Like, it shows your ad when it wants, to who it wants, and figuring out how it does that is, you can't just can't Google and just type like pooper scooper. And if you don't see yourself, you can't be upset, because it might not show it to you, but it might show it to the next 300 people who Google the same thing. So that's you have to go into those metrics. And
you're competing against other people.
You're competing against other people. It's like, I try to tell them, it's like one of those rotating billboards, like your ad's up for a minute, but then the next 20 minutes is somebody else.
Yeah.
And, if you just happen to drive by that minute that you're not up, it doesn't mean you're not showing later. But I give him so much grief about it, because he still will get all upset about it. And that's how it is. Yeah. And I get it, because if you get an ad in the Patriot Ledger, it's in every Patriot Ledger, not every third Patriot Ledger, or if you're on 5 o'clock and, whatever the Channel 5 local news, in your ad, everyone's going to see it. And
because you paid up front.
You're paying up front. Yeah. And it's
expensive. It is, But I had an old guy tell me a long time ago, he said, look at it like this. Marketing gets you more clients and customers. Advertising makes you famous.
Yeah.
He said, look at it like that.
That's true.
He said it just depends on how much money you're willing or able to put up for advertising. He said you might not be able to do that in the beginning. You might have to wait longer. But once you do it, the advertising could turn into something long term. You might get calls saying, "Hey, come on to the local news channel," or you might get speaking gigs in your local area. He said you just don't know what could happen, But he said it's really a long game.
It is. It's it's sometimes hard to think. To think that way. I think you have marketing expertise. That. I didn't know that. And a lot of service people just don't realize that.
No.
You put an ad out that's not turning into customers today. It might be tomorrow. It might be a week from now.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
That's a tough pill to swallow. But once it's like you hit a critical mass, and all of a sudden everybody knows you. It's so strange. Did you see some of our commercials? They're so stupid, and we make jokes about poop and. People see them.
I saw. I saw a video y'all have.
We do. We hired a young kid. And he put it on TikTok for us and Instagram. But what's funny, people see that and they'll go, "Oh my God, that's Dean from Dean's Home Furnishing from the '90s." Because it's like he's like, "Oh great, my advertisers are finally hitting."
Yeah,
you're right. It makes you famous, but it can take a long time.
Yeah, it is, man. So this type of business, do y'all have a lot of repeat business? Like, what's the repeat numbers? Like most people keep coming back, or it's like a one and done type deal.
Most customers are weekly or every other week, which is nice. So once you hook them, they stay. And I think our average retention rate is like close to 2 years. So I don't want to say count on it, but you can once you get them, that's steady. That's steady revenue for years and years. That's why, I should have said that earlier. But when you get them, when we advertise in the spring, we get that big rush. It's so important because whatever we get then, those are our customers for the rest of the year. And we're probably not getting too many. We do get some, one-offs, but we really try to get them to sign up for regular service. So if you come just one time, we're charging you $200 or more if you have a big yard. But if you stay for 3 months, or you sign up for regular service, we'll do the first one for free, and then it's only $30 a week. And once people get used to having you come out every week, a lot of times they'll say, "Okay, I'm going to quit in 3 months," and then they stay for 4 years. Because it's hard to cancel it and have to do it yourself, and it happens all the time. People will say, "I'd rather save the money. Sorry, you guys are great, but I'm going to cancel." I say, "Okay," and then a month later they're calling back. "Yeah, I haven't picked up in a month. I think you guys can come back and start the service again." So the retention is pretty high.
Yeah, man. One day I might see you guys on a Shark Tank.
That would be so cool.
Yeah,
I would love that. I have 2 goals. One of them is I want to get on Shark Tank someday, and I want to be on. Did you ever listen to How I Built This? It's like another big. It's on NPR, but big business podcast. I got you. Yeah. So if I can get on those two, then I can say I made it.
Yeah,
I got to meet Damon once on Shark Tank.
I heard he's pretty cool.
He was very cool. He's very professional.
Yeah.
You know how he sits, kind of holds his hands crossed.
Yeah.
Hands together. Even off camera, he was the same way. You know, like he must get bothered all the time. But I went to like a show that he did,
Probably.
and he was kind of like, "Nice to meet you, nice to meet you." But you could tell he had better things to do. Very polite, but
Yeah.
it's like a barrier.
When I see a lot of celebrities, public figures, I don't approach them. I'll speak, but I won't approach. Some people say, "Hey, let me take a picture." I don't do that because I know they get approached all the time.
Yeah, it's gonna be irritating. Right?
So I was like, I'll speak. That's it, and I just keep moving.
Yeah,
it has to be. I know I would be irritated by that.
Yeah, it's probably cool at first, but I bet in the long run, just every day people bothering you at restaurants, in the supermarket. Well, they probably don't go to the supermarket, but wherever out in public. I mean, it's got to get old.
Yeah. You eating it with your family, and like, hey,
Damon, let me take a picture.
And then if you be like, hey, sir, let me finish eating, then I'll get back with you. You asshole.
That's right. And you end up then they're on TMZ, and so you're right.
Yeah. So do you give advice to people that I guess want to get started? Or maybe you eventually will at some point.
Yeah, I love that. If someone else, watches this and wants to get started in the business, if you want to franchise with us, great. But even if you don't, we can go to our website. You can call us. I'm always happy to talk about the business. There is a lot of dog poop to go around. So if I can help someone get started.
What's the website?
It's called poopaway.com. Perfect. It's the call. Remember, the call part is important. Someone else owns the domain poopaway.com. I would do anything to get that domain, but and then you can just send us an email, or give us a quick call, or you can message us on Facebook, Instagram. I get all those; they'll come directly to me. So I'd be happy to talk to anyone. And help in any way I can, or just like I like to say, if you just want to talk shit for a few minutes, I'm around.
Fantastic, man. So there you have it. Like, share this episode. All show links will be found in the show notes. Until next time, we're out. Peace.